So I've been taking basketball photos for about 3 weeks, and within those 3 weeks I've learned a lot. The refreshments are insanely overpriced, but I also did learn a lot of things photography related, so let's get into those. So one of the things that I learned is that you need to be there early. For the first about 5 minutes of the game, which was mostly just warm up, I was trying to figure out good settings. I was going through all my shutter speeds. I do suggest get there early so when the game happens, you already have your settings down and you already have some good angles. Another thing that I learned is don't bring your camera back. Now, that is of course a huge oversimplification. Do bring a camera back, but you're not gonna have enough time to really use it. I barely had enough time to swap in and out the batteries when my camera would die. You very rarely have enough time to switch lenses. You almost never are gonna have enough time to get your camera back, do whatever you need to, close your camera back, get back to where you need to. Essentially, don't bring your camera back, and if you do, know that you're not gonna have enough time to use it, and put everything that you need from your camera bag in your pockets, or put everything that you need on your camera. If you have a flash, don't use a flash. If you think you need extra batteries, throw some in your pocket. If you think you're gonna need another lens, know that your trade-off is you're probably gonna be missing shots. Another thing that I learned is to stretch, especially if you're gonna be running around. I ran around a lot. For 2 weeks, I did not stretch, and that took a huge toll. I would go to school very sore. I would come home extraordinarily sore. I would be in so much pain. Just getting from the courts to the car would be horribly painful. It was a whole mess. And so for the last week, I did stretch. I was still exceptionally tired because I just ran like 6,000 steps, but at least I wasn't in as much pain and I wasn't as sore going to school the next day. Stretching for anything that you're ever going to be doing more than 1,000 steps for, or do you think you're going to be doing more than 1,000 steps for, always stretch. It's very important and can very much help your joints or muscles or tendons. I forgot what stretching is good for. I know it's one of those parts, but it's really important to stretch. Another thing which is important to do before every game is to make sure that you have earbuds or headphones or something to cancel out the 9,000 billion decibels, which is the spectators in student sections cheering or yelling. Of course, it's not 9,000 decibels, that would break your eardrum, but it's very, very loud, so get used to hearing a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming and very loud noises, or, which I personally do suggest you do, bring noise cancelling headphones or earbuds or something to kind of block out some of that very loud noise. The noise that eventually gets into your ear either isn't as loud or something a little bit non-damaging towards your ears. Last but very much most important, be respectful. Always be respectful towards the coaches, the players, and the refs, because they have all of the authority. It does not matter if your press pass is encrusted in diamonds and gold. If the players or coaches or refs want you out, you will be out for at minimum that entire game, for the rest of the game. Or if you're annoying enough, you could be out for the rest of the season. Or if you piss off enough people and are rude enough, you'll be kicked out from the entire area, stadium, or school. Literally be kicked out of every single game, no matter what. Always be respectful. If someone asks you to move, always move. If a coach is yelling at you, be like, hey, sorry, my bad, and kick it. If a player is running at you, don't expect them to move. You better move. If a coach is coming at you, you better move. If a ref is trying to talk through you, like to get a coach, you better be aware. Going back to my previous point of having noise cancelling headphones, always make sure the one ear is open, because the worst thing within this photographic space here is to have someone yelling at you to move, or you interfering with the game and ultimately putting attention onto yourself. Because as a photographer, our jobs is to take photos of the attention getters. Our job to create the attention getter, get attention towards the sport, not to become the attention receivers. We are not supposed to be getting attention. We exist. Yeah, sure. Players could be like, oh hey, it's a photographer, and say, ha, that's it. Do not talk with other people. Do not interfere with other people. Do not interact. Be in your own bubble, but aware of other people's bubble. Now, on that note, let's get into the editing montage and photos so you can actually see if any of those tips are worth it. So now that I've finished editing the photos, let's get into presenting the finalized photos. So here are the pictures. I picked these because they're pretty good all-arounds of the photos I took. If you want to see the rest of the photos, they're on my Instagram. If you liked the video, press the like button. If you didn't, tell me why in the comments. And I hope to see you guys at the next video.